Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to talk about how AI, also called vibe coding, has changed the way I design solutions on the low-code Microsoft Power Platform. And it makes it possible to let a business role with limited programming background, or I call it amateur developer, write low-code applications smoothly. Let's start with the purpose of today's task. We originally planned to handle course cancellation manually, but after launching our new application, we discovered that parents really appreciate the streamlined web interface and the ability to interact directly online. So now, as we move forward with some course cancellations by admins, I'm going to integrate the cancellation process directly into our website. Normally, for requirements like this on the Power Platform, I'd tend to Power Automate. Typically, you would change a flag column in the course table, then trigger a Cloudflow that locates the registrations, retrieves the associated students and parents, marks the registrations for cancellation, and it deducts the corresponding fees so that the adjusted due amount is actually reflected in front of each parent. Finally, it deactivates the course. But since I have started using AI, or called vibe coding, for these schools' course registration and management website on Power Pages, I have realized that AI can massively boost the efficiency of HTML and JavaScript development. I now prefer to write code directly on the web page rather than building Power Automate flows, although it's a more visualized tool. Instead, HTML is just easier to write, reuse, and maintain. For example, I can simply copy and paste HTML code and have it working right away. In contrast, Power Automate requires drawing out every step and writing formulas individually. Not to mention they are called Power FX, and I will need to check developer doc for its syntax in some specific scenario. Plus, HTML code on the web can easily be packed in a Power Pages solution or managed in a simple text-based code library. On the other hand, Power Automate Flow came with several limitations when it comes to import, export, and solution deployment. This time, I chose to work with ChatGPT and Cursor, two AI tools I consider among the best for coding, and give them the same detailed prompt. Like write the Power Page web page and the code to handle when make a new confirm course cancellation button, ignore the original button. The button will make the actions A, B, C, D, and after the button click, the button will be disabled. Okay, and for only after all the web API save Ajax finished, the button should finish. If error, show a warning text under the button in red, print the detailed error message. So, ChatGPT generated some code for me, and before using it, I took a close look. Right away, I noted it was using an outdated API path /API/data/v9.1/. That version-specific format no longer works in Power Pages. To fix it, I updated to the newer version-independent format /API/. Now the code works correctly with the current platform. Always a good idea to double-check the version when using AI-generated code. Next, I tried Cursor. Cursor runs as a local tool with a UI very similar to Visual Studio Code. One advantage here is that Cursor can read the entire project natively, unlike ChatGPT, where I typically have to zip and upload the entire code directory. Cursor also allows you to choose which model to use. I picked the Cloudy 3.5 Sonnet, the default one. However, there was an issue. Cursor didn't correctly handle lookup fields in WebAPI.SaveAjax. It didn't apply the right formatting, prefixing with an underscore and suffixing with underscore value, which is necessary for lookups in Dataverse. Without that, the API course fails. ChatGPT, on the other hand, handled it much better. Even their use of promise deferred, both tools enforced the synchronized API execution, which I needed to wait for all API calls to complete before refreshing. But Cursor's code structure was a bit easier to read. In the end, this AI experience made me shift away from relying on Power Automate for every task. That said, Power Automate still has its place. It supports a wide range of connectors. For example, I still use it to send an email through a specific Microsoft 365 account, where the authorization happens during the flow design process. Finally, my conclusion is today's vibe coding makes it possible to let a business role with limited programming background, or I call it amateur developer like me, write low-code applications smoothly. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.